I am a wanderer. I travel the world in search of wisdom. I recently passed by a gathering of those who follow the path of Vega, the element of flame, as they were observing the rite of the burning woman. This rite of cleansing is observed regularly by the followers of Vega, where the one who desires to walk the path of self-amelioration is surrounded by flame, while the others kneel to the flame and chant Rotasun Othalak Vega again and again until the flame dies down. I was reminded of the story that inspired the rite, so I have elected to write it down. In that ancient time before the arrival of Vega Jova, a warlord unleashed her wrath upon a city festering with sin. When the city surrendered to the might of the warlord, she demanded, "Bring all the leaders of the city to the center of town, so we may sacrifice them to the flame god." For those initiates who are not aware, in the time before the arrival of Vega Jova, we believed in gods who represented each element. Now, we understand that the instances of gods we encountered before were ancestral spirits who remain among us to guide us on our path. When the city's leaders were gathered, all corrupt and without remorse for their actions, a great bonfire was lit in honor of the flame god. One, by the warlord's command, their leaders were sacrificed, and the scent of smoke and death lingered in the air. The warlord declared, "These worthless worms are not enough to purge this place of corruption. Bring all the soldiers of the city who were complacent to their leader's dishonor, so we may sacrifice them as well." The city's soldiers were gathered and tested. The strongest and most honorable of them were allowed to live, and the rest were sacrificed to the flame. The warlord was still not satisfied. She declared, "This is still not enough to purge this place of corruption. This entire city is corrupt. Bring all the people here so we may truly purge the unclean from this city." When the people were gathered, the warlord had her soldiers add more wood to the flame, making the bonfire twice as strong. The first to be sacrificed, a woman of night-colored hair, was thrown into the fire, but did not burn. The flame turned blue as the flame god itself descended into the flame and possessed the woman. Recognizing this, the warlord fell to her knees in horror as those soldiers closest to the fire were lit aflame by the being we now call the Burning Woman. The woman stepped out of the fire, the azure flame following her and covering her without burning her. Her eyes glowed as she glared at the warlord, shouting, "You are so focused on cleansing corruption, you have failed to notice your loss of honor. And for what? To establish your legacy? To appease me? By your actions you have disgraced your people, and you have earned not my respect, but my wrath." The woman then took the kneeling warlord by the throat and dragged her into the fire, her fearful screams and cries for mercy falling upon deaf ears. The moment the warlord entered the fire, 1,000 bolts from a furious storm struck from the heavens, turning the warlord to ash. The woman exited the fire unscathed, and the flame god quelled the bonfire. The story is a reminder to not allow one's beliefs, justified or otherwise, dominate one's decisions. Zeal, like most things, can be helpful in moderation, but a distinct overabundance of zeal is just as dangerous to not only one's fellows, but to oneself as a distinct lack of zeal. I ask you to meditate on this truth and remember to temper yourself, lest you find yourself facing the wrath of the flame.